likes to travel? Do you like to travel? I like to travel. Who doesn't like to travel? Who likes some food? Do you like food? I like food. Who doesn't like food? I'm crazy about food and travel, man. So what's up? Welcome to that Compodcastseries. This is your homeboy, Rolando Suarez III, BSHM 501, but you just call me RJ. For today's episode, we'll be talking about two of the most famous dishes in the Philippines. So what are we waiting for? Let's start. Sinigang is a Filipino sour soup dish prepared with tamarind, then with meats like pork, beef, chicken, fish, and prawns. They also prepared with different vegetables like kangkong, taro, radish, string beans, okra, green chilies, tomatoes, and eggplant. A true Filipino dish that can be traced back then, even before the Spanish came to the Philippines. As suggested by food historians, its origins are most likely indigenous, hence, there is no documentation of where and what is the origin of sinigang is. Having said that, there are similar dishes on neighboring countries like the Malaysian asam pedas ikan, Indonesian sayur asem, Vietnamese can chua, and Thai tom yum, which can be an origin of sinigang. Through times, this dish had evolved into many forms, where sourcing agents were changed from tamarind to different fruits like guava, raw mango, calamansi, lemon, kamyas, and santol, to name some. But there is this new kind on the block, where fruits are used not as a sour element, but to enhance the flavor by adding a sweet profile to it. Hence, strawberries and even watermelons is used. At first, I was a bit skeptical on this new style of sinigang, but after I tried it, the dish makes sense, as the sweet flavor adds to the complexity, at the same time complements the already existing sour, savory, and sometimes hot profile. The roots of the Philippines' most well-known dish are not easy to trace, but we do know a few things about the origins of adobo and how it's involved into the dish Filipinos love today. Read on to uncover the many phases of adobo and why it inspires such devotion in its fans. Few subjects in the Philippines raise as many differing options as the right way to make adobo. It's a topic everyone feels passionately about, whether they cook or not. The reason is that a good adobo is a life-changing dish. Everyone wants everyone else to experience the epiphany, but the devil, as they say, is in the details, and the details can be squabbled about endlessly. At its most basic level, adobo is a dish of protein braised in vinegar, and it's spiced with garlic and black peppercorns. Beyond that, there is very little agreement, but let's backtrack a bit. We know the Malay voyagers who originally landed in the Philippines used vinegar and salt as a way of preserving food, keeping it inedible for longer in the hot tropical climate on the islands. Vinegar appears again and again in traditional recipes. Dating back to the time before refrigeration, Filipinos were already preparing their protein in a marinade of vinegar and salt before the Chinese traders arrived. Some of the Chinese traders who venture all over the region selling their wares Settled in the Philippines, they brought with them a number of ingredients that were quickly adopted by the locals, including pancit noodle and soy sauce. In many parts of the Philippines, soy sauce came to replace the use of salt in home kitchens. And so, soy sauce is still considered a key ingredient of a good adobo in most households. When the Spaniards arrived, they saw how the Filipinos used vinegar to marinate their chicken, pork, and fish. The Spanish word adobar refers to a marinade of pickling sauce. In his writing, Pedro de San Buenaventura labeled the Filipino version Adobo de los Naturales, adobo of the natives, the name stuck. As each region of the Philippines has its own produce and preferred flavor profile, there are different versions of adobo across the islands. Where seafood was plentiful, adobong pusit, a squid adobo with squid ink, became popular. In southern Luzon, where heat and coconut milk are popular ingredients, adobo ng gata, adobo with coconut milk and green fingers chilies, emerge. There are countless twists on adobo and around the Philippines. You'll find versions that include sugar, liver, potatoes, morning glory, laurel leaves, the list goes on. In recent years, adobo has moved beyond its roots as a humble island dish, delighting dinners at Filipino restaurant Furful Yum in New York, and even the affections of former US President Barack Obama. Up and coming Filipino chefs shared the meat from adobo, stew to create savory flakes to top salad, or to stuff in sushi. Adobo has featured on shows like Top Chefs and remains the ultimate test of any Filipino cook's mettle. At its heart, adobo is a process of cooking, not a recipe. The tang of the vinegar is softened over low heat, intensifying the flavor of the meat and creating a silky, mouth-watering sauce that is always served with fragrant white rice. Adobo's long journey, its melding of cultures, and ardent defenders all come together to tell a diverse and delicious story. That's it for today's episode. Thank you for listening. This is your homeboy RJ signing off.